and this family has hundreds of square kilometers at their disposal. For the cub's mother, the night's work is just beginning.
So that is the moonlight. Oh yeah, awesome.
Even with such a bright moon, nocturnal lion behavior was almost impossible to film. Now, with the starlight camera, we can share their world. Lions walk quickly and easily. And these cubs are being taken out on a tour of their range. They may have to travel 9 or 10 kilometers to find animals they can hunt. Our challenge is to follow the lions without losing them. Using the thermal camera, we can keep track of them better than by day. Intense moonlight bathes the landscape. And at night, cats' eyes can see 6 times further than ours. Probably almost as well as the starlight camera. The family arrives at a small herd of oryx. These cubs have barely begun to find out which animals they can eat or even what they look like. They approach to get a better view. This could be their first chance of some real action. The antelope are almost as curious as the cubs. The mother knows the cubs are distracting the oryx. She quietly lies down out of sight. The antelope are confident. The bright moonlight gives them a clear view of the lions. To the oryx, the cubs don't appear to be hunting in any way. The curious youngsters follow as the oryx move off. Only the thermal camera can see the hidden lioness. The big male oryx shows the cubs how very fit he is with his trotting gait. He's letting them know that they wouldn't be able to catch him. But he's not aware of the lioness concealed in the grass. In the bright moonlight, the oryx sees the lioness burst from her hiding place and runs for his life. The lioness has a top speed of 80 kilometers an hour, but she can only sustain it for a few seconds, unlike the oryx. The cubs, of course, saw this. At least they can now identify oryx as potential prey. It'll be a while yet before they have the other skills necessary to complete a hunt. Bright moonlit nights are the exception. With no moon, clear nights are lit faintly by stars. Then, the light level is only 1/20,000,000th of daylight. Many animals compensate for this with a reflective layer in their eyes. It shows up with our infrared camera. Without infrared, the raw image from the Starlight camera becomes very grainy. Enhancing the camera's image gives us an idea of what the lion might be able to see in starlight, as her brain enhances her own vision in a similar way. But the light levels don't affect the thermal camera at all. We can see clearly whatever happens. On nights like these, the herds often congregate on the tops of hills, and here they can be hard to find, especially in this darkness. But this lioness knows her area well. Tonight's hunt would normally be straightforward, except that she has some hangers-on. Her cubs. At 14 months old, they already look adult. But can they hunt? Mom hangs back, perhaps hoping they'll get their own dinner for once. The sound of a herd of wildebeest attracts the cubs. The wildebeest are nervous. They can't see far in this gloom. The lion's lower viewpoint gives them a crucial advantage. In starlight, they can see the wildebeest silhouetted against the sky. One of the girl cubs can't resist making a move. Her brother joins her. This is a good start. Close the gap and wait for the best moment to strike. But another sister still needs to learn the value of patience. The wildebeest hear her heavy footfalls and take off. The young girl seems surprised to have cleared the area. Mum is not impressed. Now they'll all have to walk another half an hour before they catch up with food again. It's a painful lesson in wasted energy. Mum instructs her inept offspring to stay back this time, while she gets them all a good meal. She walks across the breeze to pick up the scent of the herd. As soon as she catches their smell, she turns towards them, into the wind. The starlight camera can just make the herd out. She can't see them yet. They still can't see her. Only now is she close enough to see her prey. She approaches with care, unlike the clumsy cubs. The wildebeest relax, unsuspecting. To the lioness, the wildebeest are silhouettes against the stars. But to the wildebeest, 60 meters away, she is completely invisible. We can only see her with the aid of infrared light, or with the thermal camera. The wildebeest have no idea what's about to happen. chase is over in seconds. She may have selected a weak-looking victim, or in the confusion, simply tripped the nearest. Either way, she shows how one experienced lioness on her own keeps 6 hangers-on well fed. The cubs know something's up by the drumming of hooves. Mum must have made a kill. She usually does. They just need to home in on the sounds of scuffling. When the youngsters arrive, Mum is still throttling the wildebeest. They betray their immaturity by merely playing with it before they start to feed. Now that they're fully weaned, they'll demolish it in half an hour. These youngsters are beginning to know their prey, but they'll need to watch their mum carefully in future. She won't always be there to bail them out. Let's hope in time these cubs can emulate their mother's skill. After a long sleep, of course. At around 2 years old, these young lions look as if they should be able to feed themselves. They have the bodies and bulk of hunters, but have they the brains and experience to be any good? They seem more like playful hooligans. But soon this bunch of hooligans will be forced to strike out on their own, ready or not. Their mothers are pregnant again. When the new cubs are born, there'll be no room in this pride for these big brothers and sisters. Little time remains for the mothers to ensure their offspring have the skills to survive. With night vision cameras, we can follow the next stages of their education. During the 4 nights around the full moon, there is very little true darkness. The blazing moonlight drowns out the faint glow of the stars. The starlight camera can see clearly, but so can the animals. The herds spread out and settle down.